You found yourself on another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United, and I'm lucky that this show is not available on YouTube because I am smiling from ear to ear. On today's episode, the Sacramento Kings send a major message to the rest of the NBA. You want to disrespect us? You want to disrespect the Sacramento Kings? We're going to take out our frustration on your so-called all-star starter Tyrese Halliburton as the Kings make a major statement in a big win against the Indiana Pacers, and we're going to talk about it on Let 'Em Know Kings United. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for the post-game reaction podcast of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and the Chicago Bulls. This is Let 'Em Know Kings United. Let 'Em Know Nation, you already know what time it is. Welcome to another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United, your Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Sacramento Kings post-game reaction podcast. And I am your host, Scarlett Weisberg. Thank you so much for tuning into today's program. And you can find Let 'Em Know Kings United, which is 100% completely free and available on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Radio Public, Pandora, or wherever else you want to listen to this show. Give the show a follow on those platforms. If you can, please turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. It is an awesome way to support the podcast, and I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. I needed to make a quick announcement before we get into today's show. I am going to try to find a way to get not only Let 'Em Know Kings United, but my other podcast, Faith for the Weekend, on YouTube. That's right. It is going to be on my YouTube channel, which I am going to try to give you guys at an appropriate time. I mean, I gotta get it all set up or anything, but be on the lookout because Let 'Em Know Kings United and my other podcast, Faith for the Weekend, will be going live on YouTube. It will be like the audio version of it, but if you're gonna watch on YouTube, it is going to be the audio version, just like we've been doing for the last couple of months. Okay, so be on the lookout, like I said, because Let 'Em Know Kings United and Faith for the Weekend will be coming to YouTube very, very soon. Now, how does that feel, National Basketball Association? Huh? How does it feel, fake voting system? Because Domas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox proved a point. They were in the same arena that NBA All-Star Weekend is going to take place this weekend. And by the way, for those of you that didn't catch the last show, I am not watching NBA All-Star Weekend because it is an absolute joke, okay? I'm not saying the game is a joke, but I'm saying, like, the voting system is a joke. And I'm not speaking to the fans here, okay? Because I know every single Sacramento King fan, and I hope every single member of Let 'Em Know Nation took the time to vote for Domas Sabonis to be in the All-Star game, because this man is a straight-up beast. He is a straight-up killer in the paint, okay? He made history tonight. And also, Domas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, he was hoping. De'Aaron Fox, Domas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, they were all hoping against the number one offense in the NBA, but they have a weakness. Yes, I said it. The Indiana Pacers have a weak spot, ladies and gentlemen, and that weak spot is the defense. They committed or they forced Indiana to commit 20 turnovers in this game, and we nearly dropped 30 points off the 20 turnovers. For us to be able to do that against that caliber team, that is outstanding. This is not only a good win for Sacramento, this is not only a great win for Sacramento, but what it is a great team win. And quite honestly, this is the best team win of the season. But we gotta start with some history by the name of Domantas Sabonis. Domantas Sabonis. He had 26 points, 12 rebounds for his 30th straight double-double. He broke Oscar Robertson's single-season franchise record. Sabonis added 7 assists, and De'Aaron Fox had 25 points and 6 steals a day after the NBA announced its All-Star reserves, and neither of the King stars were selected. So De'Aaron Fox, he dropped 25, but the NBA says he's not All-Star material. Domas, 30 straight double-doubles. The man is leading the entire National Basketball Association in rebounds. But the NBA says Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker are better than De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Check the damn stats. Check the damn stats, people, because Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker are doing jack squat compared to De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Now, De'Aaron Fox had a bad month in January, so it couldn't win 50-50 for De'Aaron Fox. But Domantas Sabonis had every single freaking right to deserve to be in the All-Star game. I better hope if anybody in the Western Conference, hopefully Karl Anthony Towns or Devin Booker get hurt, Domantas Sabonis will take place of either one of them. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Domas is more worthy of being an All-Star than those two people combined. Mike Brown said 2 fantastic performances from both of these guys. And he called Sabonis' performance historic. Listen to this. The Big O, Oscar Robertson, had a 29-game double-double streak from December 6th of 1961 to January 30th of 1962. This man has a golden opportunity tonight against my Chicago Bulls, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen because Nikola Vucevic cannot outwork Domantas Sabonis. I hate to tell everybody the truth, but Vooch is the softest center in the entire NBA right now, and Domas, spoiler alert, will have his 31st consecutive double-double tonight. That is not a prediction. It is a spoiler. The man is a straight-up beast. And for anybody that voted for Domantas Sabonis to be an All-Star over Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker, I personally want to thank each and every one of you. For those that voted those two over Domas, I got nothing to say to y'all. Mike Brown said about the win, good win versus a really good team on the road. It wasn't always textbook, but the ability to protect and cover for one another was really good to see. In the second half, I think, had 20 points in the paint, which was huge for us. I think in the second half, our defense came to play. And shout out to Kessler Edwards. This man got some minutes because he made a big impact in this game, more particularly on the defensive end. I loved his switching. I loved his rotations. I was really impressed of how Kessler Edwards played defense tonight. Let's not forget the Black Falcon. Harrison Barnes. He dropped 22 points. 22 points. And this is a man that's trying to increase his trade value for the trade deadline this coming Thursday. I don't think that Sacramento might make a big move, But I think for me, they might make a small move to try to get a wing 3 and D guy over here, because I think Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes will likely be traded if Sacramento makes a move. I will be watching the trade deadline locked up. I will have full on attention of the trade deadline, and then if Sacramento, Chicago, and or Cleveland or all three teams make a move, I will make a bonus episode of Let 'Em Know Kings United, recapping my reaction of the trade deadline for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and or the Chicago Bulls, and then tell you who won of the three teams and who lost of the three teams. So that's a little bit of a breaking news and coming soon to Let 'Em Know Kings United. As far as the Indiana Pacers, Benedict Mathurin had 31 points and 5 rebounds for the Pacers, who shot 54% from the field, but combined or committed 21 turnovers and fell to 4-8 in the last 12 games. Pascal Siakam added 22 points and 6 rebounds. The Kings, who shot 57% from the field tonight, ran ahead by as many as 18 points in the third quarter. Now, Indiana, as good of a team that they are, were able to close the game, but never got closer to 7 in the final period. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk are really fast. Mathurin credited them. They have a lot of guys that can score. It's hard to contain them. Indiana All-Star Tyrese, the point guard, Halliburton, scored 14 points and had an uncharacteristic 5 turnovers. Wait, what? Did I just read that right? Let me rewind that. Tyrese Halliburton, the point guard, had 5 turnovers tonight. I'm sorry, I'm just straight up shocked, because when I think of the name Tyrese Halliburton, I think of 0 turnovers. Maybe 1 on occasion, but 5? 5? Oh my God. Odd. But he came off the bench in his third game back from an injured hamstring. With the organization managing his minutes, Halliburton checked in for the first time at the start of the second quarter and played only 22 minutes. Carlisle said he was in favor of having the ability to finish the game. The first 2 games made sense. And it wasn't an easy thing to do, adding Halliburton to the bench. So sometimes you got to go through these challenges. The Pacers were without Miles Turner, who was averaging 17 points and 7 rebounds a game, but he had a sprained ankle. Jalen Smith was also out due to back spasms, so the lack of size for the Indiana Pacers was a big advantage for the Sacramento Kings, more specifically Domantas Sabonis. But listen, this was a historic win in the context of De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, and it was a great team win for the Sacramento Kings because they turned up the intensity on defense and they forced a lot of turnovers. Let me get to the stats. The Kings shot 56% for the field. You can argue 57% for the field tonight and 38% from three-point range. The Pacers, 54% for the field, 34% from three-point range. The rebounds, 1 rebound advantage for the Indiana Pacers, 39-38. The assist, 26-23 Sacramento. The steals, 15-13 Sacramento. The blocks, even at 3, 22 turnovers and 31 points allowed for Indiana. 17 turnovers for Sacramento and only 18 points. So the biggest difference of this game was the points off turnovers for Sacramento and the turnovers for Indiana. The defense for Sacramento came up huge in this game because Mike Brown knew that Indiana was going to score, right? The Pacers have the number 1 offense in the league, so they knew that they were going to score. The problem for the Pacers was they didn't know how to play defense, and they didn't know how to stop Sacramento in transition. So credit Mike Brown and the Sacramento Kings for recognizing that and taking advantage and scoring a lot of points off of Indiana's turnovers, who, by the way, Rick Carlisle, that was a careless performance. careless performance. I still believe that Indiana is going to make the playoffs because of their offense, but they will be a first round exit because of the lack of defense. The points in the paint, Sacramento beasted and feasted in the paint, 66-58, mostly because of that number 10 from Gonzaga, who had his 30th straight double-double, 26 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 block, 2 steals, 9 of 14 for the field, 8 of 9 from the foul line. The man is a straight-up beast. De'Aaron Fox, you can't argue with him either. 25 points, 11 of 21 for the field, with 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 big-time steals. He took the lunch money out of the Indiana Pacers 6 times. He almost cleared out the bank. That's how dominant De'Aaron Fox was, because he is a better two-way player than Tyrese Halliburton. I got no problem with Tyrese being a scorer, but in this league, in this context, you need to be a two-wing player. You need to be a guy that can score, and you need a guy that can defend. Fortunately for us, as Sacramento Kings fans, De'Aaron Fox checks all 2 of those boxes. The Black Falcon, Harrison Barnes, he continues to improve dramatically. 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 of 7 from 3. He was on one tonight. Kevin Huerter, 15 points, 3 of 6 from three-point range, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Red Velvet was just straight up cooking. Malik Monk, you already know what this man does. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists and a steal, coming off a rough January. He has bounced back in a major way. Shout out to Kessler Edwards. He didn't score in this game, but he had a big advantage or a big impact in this game on the defensive end. He finished with 4 rebounds, an assist, and 2 steals. He was a plus-minus, a +11. Good stuff for Kessler Edwards, specifically on the defensive end. For the Pacers, Mathurin led the Pacers in scoring with 31 points. He finished 10 of 14 for the field with 4 assists, 2 steals, and 5 rebounds. Pascal Siakam, the one-time Raptor, had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Neesmith had 6 points, 3 of 7 for the field. Off the bench, Tyrese Halliburton finished with 14 points, 3 rebounds, and assists, and a steal, 6 of 10 from the field. Buddy Hield had 17 points off the bench with 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 big-time steals. TJ McConnell was a straight-up pest, 9 points, 7 assists, and 2 steals. But this was a good team win for Sacramento against the number 1 offense in the NBA. And guess what? They are 4-1 in this 7-game road trip. But here's a spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be 5-1, because I am straight up confident, even though I'm going to be rooting for Chicago, I am straight up confident here that the Sacramento Kings will run all over the Chicago Bulls. And like I said, Domantas Sabonis will make some history. He will have his 31st consecutive double-double tonight. Maybe a trip dub. Who knows? You better tune in for this one. That's going to do it for today's edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United. You can find this show on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Radio Public, Pandora, or wherever else you're listening to this show. Remember, this show is coming soon to YouTube, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, give the show a follow on those platforms. Turn on your notifications so you know about today's or the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. I thank each and every one of you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Starla Weisberg, and I will see you right back here for another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United.